Here's what happened when 24 women ages 32 to 70 flew across the world to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. This isn't just the story of our climb, but it's the story of how strangers became friends and friends became like sisters. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm an Army veteran, a breast cancer survivor, and the founder of Hike Like a Woman. This is how we climbed the tallest peak in Africa. We spent about a year planning and preparing for this trip. We got to know each other in our Slack group, and then once we all arrived in Moshi, we were finally able to meet in person. The first day of our trip, we organized our gear, we met our guides, they checked our gear and our clothing to make sure we had what we needed to be comfortable, warm, and safe. Some women in our group were able to rent gear right at our hotel, which was super convenient. I just want to say that this is full service here at Zara. Look at this. Look at this full service. He's going to zip your coat. And then we got some words of advice from John, our lead guide.
Well, I can't wait to get out of town to go to my favorite place.
He said that climbing this mountain would change our lives, and he was right. Good morning from Moshi. We're getting ready to start our Kilimanjaro climb today. We're so excited. We're gonna head down to breakfast, link up with the group, link up with our guides, drop our gear off, and get ready to go. As we loaded the buses and left the hotel, there was excitement in the air. Everyone couldn't wait to see our dream of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro come true. We arrived at the gate, signed in, and waited for our departure time. Now here at Hike Like a Woman, we have a tradition. No one drinks alone. So we raised our water bottles to toast our guides and porters before we walked through the Machami gate and our feet touched the trail for the very first time. On the trail, our guides told us that we needed to hike pole pole, or slowly, slowly. We separated into smaller groups and settled into a comfortable pace as we walked through the beautiful rainforest. This was the first time our guides introduced us to a song that would become our rally cry for the next week. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Jambo bwana. Habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. As we got closer to camp, the trail got steeper, but at the top, we were finally able to see the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro peek through the clouds. We arrived at camp, ate dinner. How's everybody feeling? Good? Good? Good?
Yeah! Woo-hoo!
And no thanks. Sang a little more. And then went to bed. It was a beautiful day. All right, it's morning of day 2. Everyone's trying to get out of their tents. And we're gonna hike pole pole today. Before we came on this trip, there were lots of questions about the toilet situation. This is where we've been going to the bathroom. Look at that. Look at these nice little toilets. They're adorable. We have 5. I think everyone felt pretty comfy with the toilet situation. Comfortable in there? Woo! Today we only had 3 miles to hike, but we decided that a Kilimanjaro mile is the equivalent of 3 US miles because we just kept climbing up, up, up through the moorland. We watched the vegetation change as we hiked and had so much fun. That afternoon we arrived at camp and had some downtime to chat. What's been your favorite part of the trip? Day 2. We hiked for 2 days and about 36 hours.
Yes, it's true. Sitting next to the queen.
The queen.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. What's been your favorite part, Carly?
You know, I trained my whole life to be told it's just around the corner. It's 30 minutes down the road. Just a little further. That's my favorite part.
The favorite part?
I was prepared.
Yeah, today's 4-hour hike was about 6.5 to 7.5. And it's good because we were going pole pole. Alicia's over there. Alicia, what's been your favorite part of the climb? Say right now, hang out with us.
Yes, sitting down. She said sitting down.
Sitting down.
Yeah.
But not with us.
No.
You don't like...
Now that I, not walking uphill, I can speak, so.
Yeah, that's why everybody's smiling.
She's too tired to sit up and move.
Melissa's my roommate. and I kept kicking her in the back last night.
It's okay. It was like
What are you, 12?
Kind of. We were strangers until we spent a romantic night together. I love the guides.
They're so great.
I love how supportive they are because we are moving very slowly. And I feel like they should be like, oh my gosh, as soon as we get to camp, I can sit down and rest and relax. But
Nope.
I don't feel like that we're a burden to them in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. They're like grabbing people's packs and carrying them if they need a little help. One guide got my water bottle out of my backpack and handed it to
That's
me.
true friendship right there.
That is.
It was service with a smile. Plus, they'll tie your shoelaces. You guys, you should really come on a trip with me.
Feels true.
Yeah, they tie shoelaces. And then if you ask for a hug, they'd probably give you a hug too. I don't know if there's rules against hugging.
Will they sing a
clients,
song
but-
with me?
Oh, they sing a lot of songs
They
for us.
do.
Yes.
And it's mostly like, okay, everyone's running out of juice. No one's talking.
We got a
That'll be a
Beyonce request.
secret.
Or not Beyonce,
Beyonce.
Jennifer Lopez
Jennifer
request.
Lopez.
J-Lo?
Yeah.
What
Sing
song?
some J-Lo.
What
He
song?
wanted us to sing Jennifer Lopez.
We waiting for tonight. That's what it is. Waiting for tonight.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
We love you, J-Lo. You should come on one of our trips. Actually, I don't know if I love
I use
her
all
that
your
much.
face product.
She has face products.
She does. It's amazing.
Oh.
Chile.
All right, we're going to sign off because we're going to go on another little walk. Before dinner, our guides took us on a short little hike because they wanted us to get to 13,000 feet so we could start building those red blood cells. After that, we were pretty tired, so we ate dinner and then crawled into our tents for another night.
Do you need sugar?
Yes.
With sugar?
Yeah.
Both sugar.
Yeah.
2 spoons or 1 spoon?
So you slept like babies?
Yeah.
Like a baby?
yeah, baby, like
That was-
baby.
Sometimes we're on uneven rocky ground. It's really early. So use the pocket in your tent as a cup holder while you get dressed. Keep following me for more tips on how to survive Kilimanjaro. Oh, thank you.
Rebecca.
We cannot thank our guides, our porters, and our cooks enough for all of the support that they provided on this trip. We wouldn't have been able to do it without them. Day 3 was a huge day for acclimation. We started at Shira Camp and climbed from 12,500 feet up to Lava Tower at 15,190 feet. We stopped for a very windy lunch where we enjoyed watermelon pizza and french fries, and then we went down to 13,044 feet to Barranco Camp. We were excited that the wind seemed to disappear after Lava Tower, and it's true when mountaineers say to climb high and sleep low. The Machame route proved to be very effective at helping us adjust to the altitude quickly. It was a long day on the trail, and we were so happy to arrive at Barranco Camp for the night. We caught a glimpse of the Barranco wall that we'd be climbing the next morning, and there was excitement in the air. We're getting ready to climb the Barranco wall. We were amazed at our porters climbing this wall with heavy loads on their heads and on their backs. We're about halfway up the Barranco wall, maybe? What do you think, guys?
That seems reasonable. I think they said all the hard stuff's behind us.
How are you feeling?
Good.
I have to say,
Accomplished.
this has been the best day
I
so
agree.
far of the entire
agree.
trip.
I agree.
After a few hours, we reached the top of the wall. We were finally above the clouds and then started our climb down through the Alpine Desert to Karanga Camp. At camp, we were excited to find enough Wi-Fi for a quick call home, and then we settled into our typical campsite shenanigans.
Where do you tingle?
So
I've tingled on my face. Down my leg.
here's the deal. These ladies, outrageous. My face is tingling, and stop talking. I'm trying to talk into the camera. My face is tingling. We're at Camp Karafu, Barfarafu. I don't know. It's like Karanga, way off. Or Camp Cowabunga. And it's happy hour, so we're drinking ginger tea.
No hot cocoa.
Oh.
Ginger tea. Hot cocoa.
See?
We're not all blessed with ginger.
I stole
I know
it.
you did.
I took a tea bag this morning.
Yes, you did.
Okay. This is gonna have to have the little. This is gonna have to have the little E when I put it on YouTube. In all seriousness, my face is tingling. I think it's because of the Dimox. And so I said.
Our last video ever.
So I said, "Is your face tingling?" And then they said,
Please contact my family. It's because the Dimox made my face tingle.
and then
Pee too much.
And then they started talking about how they're tingling all over. We're not even at, like, what's our altitude? 13
something.
We're not even high.
Oh, we're high.
As a kite.
And, okay,
Oh, that too.
we're not even that high. We're rested. We're fed.
We're good.
We're ginger teed. We just listened to the Frenchman up the mountain there a little bit. It's a birthday, so the porters put on quite the show. Nobody invited us. Nobody gave us tickets, but guess what? She went anyway, even though we did not have an invitation.
That's what I do.
Yes, so she was like, "Oh,
invited
party at that
myself.
camp. I'm gonna walk up that hill in my flippy flops." I just got a whip of your foot. Quick, you smell the ginger tea. It's delightful. Delightful. I'm trying to get off now.
Rebecca signing off.
This is Rebecca signing off from Karafu, Barafu, Kangaroo. Cowabunga. We noticed that our porters were not resting, and we learned that our next camp, Barafu, didn't have a water source. So our porters spent the afternoon transporting water from Karonga camp all the way up the hill to Barafu. We continue to be so thankful for them. After an afternoon of resting, we went to dinner, checked our oxygen, and then settled in on the rocky slope of the mountain for the night. When we woke up at Karonga camp, we knew that this was another big day. To be honest, the trip just kept getting better and better every single day. We only had 2 miles to hike to get from 13,106 feet to 15,331 feet. The plan for the day was to wake up early, hike slowly as a group to Barafu, spend the afternoon resting and off of our feet, eat a good dinner, go back to sleep, and then wake up again around 10:45 p.m. to get ready for our summit push. Our goal on day 5 was to rest, to eat, and to drink water. We executed it perfectly. I think it was hard for some people in our group to hike slowly together or to stop and rest throughout the whole trip, but that was part of our guide's plan to help us acclimatize. Also, our porters worked so hard. It was important for us to hike slowly so that we could give them time to get camp set up every single day. This was another reason not to rush. Pole pole is a concept that I've been trying to apply to my life since coming home. Why are we always rushing? That's a lesson I learned on Kilimanjaro. We're looking at the summit right there, where we'll be tomorrow. We have arrived at Barafu, our final camp before we start our climb tomorrow. Down here, everyone is signing in, checking in, signing their lives away before we start the big climb. So we're gonna head to camp, eat some lunch, get some rest, then put on every single piece of clothing we brought because it's gonna be cold on that mountain. And we're gonna start climbing tonight, hopefully reach that peak tomorrow morning, and it's gonna be beautiful. It's been a fantastic day, and I can't stop smiling. I'm just so thankful to be here, and we're having so much fun. People are feeling healthy, strong, happy. It's just inspiring seeing the strength of the women on this trip, and it's showing me that you can really do anything if you just put your heart into it. As we're walking to our campsite, we're watching people come down the mountain, and they are being cheered along the way. We're resting. It's a quiet camp right now. While we're resting, you can see how busy our porters and guides are up the mountain, getting ready to support us. On this trip, we have had 73 porters, 13 guides supporting our group of 24 women. That's 100 people. It's basically been a moving city as we've ascended from camp to camp to camp. Watching how the logistics have worked and watching the teamwork that the porters have had as they've been moving our city up the mountain has been amazing, and just in awe of the strength, spirit, and just everything we've seen here on the mountain. At dinner, our guides briefed us on the plan for the summit.
It's going to be very poly, as you can see. Some are even outside. We are here to make it easier for you tonight.
Our guides sang to us one last time before sending us back to bed. And this time it was really special. The atmosphere was positive. We were happy. And we felt so much courage and energy and strength from our guides.
Wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata. Anga tulilala, hakuna matata. Sasa ni barafu, hakuna matata. Ui ni uhuru, hakuna matata. Jambo bwana, habari gani? Mzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata. Kilimanjaro, 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 mlima mrefu sana. Kilimanjaro, 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 mlima mrefu sana. Na mawenzi, na mawenzi, na mawenzi, mlima mrefu sana. Hewe nyoka, hewe nyoka, hewe nyoka, hewe nyoka, mbona walizunguka? Walizunguka, walizunguka.
A few hours later, the sky was dark, the air was cold. We met our guides, and then we started following a long line of headlamps toward Aruhu Peak. As we climbed in silence, everyone was lost in thought. It was hard to tell where the light from the headlamps ended and the stars began. Our stops were short, just long enough to add a layer or take a few sips of hot ginger tea. Our guides really wanted to keep us moving. Around 4 a.m., I just started to get sick of walking uphill. I wasn't tired. I wasn't cold. I wasn't feeling the effects of altitude. I was just tired of hiking. And at a stop, I sucked down a mango juice box, and then the sun began to rise over the mountain, kind of boosting the morale of everyone in our group. We reached Stella Point shortly after sunrise. We made it to Stella Point. We're super tired. It's been a long day, and we still have a while to go to get to the real summit. So we're gonna take a break and keep pushing hard. And then we kept trudging about another hour to Aruhu Peak. Finally, we arrived, took a moment to celebrate, and then began the long descent. All of the 23 women who attempted the summit made it to Stella Point, with 22 of us reaching the peak. Now, everyone talks about climbing Kilimanjaro as if the trip ends at the summit, but what goes up must come down, and sliding down the scree field challenged muscles we hadn't used all week. Finally, we reached Barafu, and we waited for the rest of our group to arrive. This is the aftermath of our Kilimanjaro summit. Basically, like, hurt feet, gear explosion, and we're moving on out shortly for a 4-hour hike to get to our next camp. So brutal, but also really amazing. We stood on the roof of Africa today. We climbed the world's largest freestanding peak, but holy shit, we're tired. Unfortunately, one woman in our group was suffering from altitude sickness, and she was escorted immediately down the mountain by 2 of our guides. The rest of us changed clothes, ate some lunch, and then headed down the mountain. We were planning to go 4 miles to Mweka Camp, but since we got a late start, we just hiked 2 miles to Millennium Camp. We were so excited to see camp, and we had a really restful night. When the sun rose the next morning, we knew it was our last day together. We split into 2 groups and walked 8 miles down the mountain. The mood in my group was upbeat and fun. It was lively and silly. We caught our last glimpse of the summit as we continued to walk through the rainforest and arrived at Mweka Gate. We're off the mountain. We smell like armpits. It's my roomie. You've been seeing her all week, and we're gonna go sign out, or sign out of the park. Head to the hotel. Whew. Those stairs. There's a lot of stairs. What are you guys doing?
Signing out. Signing out.
There's one that messes it up every time. This is life goals.
Life goals.
Right here, ladies and gentlemen. How old are you, Linda?
70.
Do?
I'll be 71 in 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
And you just climbed the top of what mountain?
I went to the rooftop of Africa. Kilimanjaro.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're a badass, Linda.
So here, there's no excuse that you're too old, you can't do this.
Without Tom, I don't know. He was amazing.
Yeah, you did
He
it.
was amazing.
One foot in front of the other.
He was amazing.
Tom was your Kilimanjaro husband.
No, eat this. No, eat 2 of those.
No.
And then he would say, no, not that jacket, this jacket.
Oh.
And then he would say, I mean, he did, and he put my buff on and he put my hat on. And I said, you're just like my son. He bosses me around too. You know,
That's sweet.
We had really good guides.
we did amazing.
Good guides, good company.
It was a wonderful trip.
We just got back to the hotel. We've been swimming, maybe drinking cocktails, and now I have a couple piles. This is gear that was on the mountain with me that needs to be burned. And then clothing that was left here at the hotel that is still clean. It's gonna feel so good to take a shower, you guys, and to put on clean clothes. And then I gotta show you this bed here. Look at that. That's one thing that's really cool about this trip in particular. It was really hard and really difficult, but because it was so hard and so difficult, I think it's making us appreciate these things, like the ability to hop in the pool, take a warm shower, put on clean clothes, and sleep in a nice comfortable bed. Then we celebrated with our guides and porters. It's hard to put this trip into words. For several weeks after the trip, we sent messages back and forth trying to process what we had just done. Here's what I learned about myself on Kilimanjaro. When I finished treatment for breast cancer 2 years ago, I was weak, sick, and sad. I was mourning the loss of my strong, healthy body and terrified of planning anything for the future because it just felt too uncertain. Kilimanjaro gave me a goal, it gave me something to work toward, and it showed me that there is life after cancer, that my flabby, middle-aged body is still strong and capable, and that I need friends in my life, like my Kilimanjaro friends who push each other and friends who just take time at the end of the day to have some fun. Climbing Kilimanjaro did change my life, and it gave me life. At Hike Like a Woman, a lot of women say to me, I'd love to climb that mountain, or I'd love to go on that adventure with you, or I'd love to travel with you, but then they say something like, I'm not in good enough shape, I'm not sure if I'm strong enough, or I'd have to miss too much work, or my family needs me at home. After climbing Kilimanjaro, my response to these comments has changed. You get one life. You get one chance to make it matter. Do something big and bold and brave. What are you waiting for? Do the thing that you don't think you can do. You'll probably be surprised at the strength that you have.